South China Morning Post, 7th of April 2024, America and China should not evade tough conversations, Janet Yellen tells Li Qiang during productive and candid discussions. The policy of the Chinese government is to make commitments and carry them out, which has resulted in the erosion of confidence in China's assurances. During Sunday's discussions in Beijing with U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, Chinese Premier Li Qiang urged the United States to prioritize industrial capacity and refrain from politicizing economic matters. Li reportedly told the official news agency Xinhua that the United States should examine the capacity issue dialectically and objectively, taking into consideration economic laws, the market economy, and a global perspective. Yellen, currently in China for a 5-day visit, has voiced apprehensions regarding the nation's industrial overcapacity. She stated that an overabundance of Chinese exports, particularly solar modules and new energy vehicles, could compromise American interests and result in global spillovers. Li's remarks followed Yellen's remarks. Li stated, "The growth of China's new energy sector will significantly contribute to the worldwide transition towards green and low-carbon practices. I said that we hope the United States and China can collaborate to uphold the fundamental principles of open cooperation and fair competition that characterize a market economy. We urge them to avoid politicizing economic and trade matters or oversimplifying the notion of national security." As per the U.S. Treasury Department, Yellen stated before the meeting that the countries should not evade tough conversations when attempting to resolve their differences. The meeting was characterized as frank and fruitful. It stated, the Secretary expressed her views on the shared objective of a healthy economic relationship between the United States and China that levels the playing field for American and Chinese businesses and workers. The department stated that Yellen expressed apprehensions regarding industrial overcapacity in China and emphasized the need for international cooperation on global issues, including debt relief in less developed nations. According to the department, Yellen stated before she met with Li, as the world's two largest economies, we have a responsibility to our own countries and the world to manage our complex relationship responsibly and to cooperate and demonstrate leadership in addressing pressing global challenges. Although there is still work to be done, I believe that our bilateral relationship has become more firmly established over the past year. This has not entailed disregarding our divergences or evading difficult dialogues. It has entailed recognizing that advancements can only be achieved through open and direct communication among ourselves, she further elaborated. Yellen's visit to China, marking her second visit since July of last year, occurred days after a telephone conversation between Chinese President Xi Jinping and his American counterpart Joe Biden, during which the two countries attempted to mend relations amidst economic and technological disputes. During the call, Xi cautioned that risks were generated by the endless stream of measures imposed on China. Li conveyed to Yellen the critical importance that enhancing economic and trade cooperation holds for both nations and for the advancement of the global economy. The speaker expressed his desire for enhanced communication and the identification of strategies to effectively handle and resolve disagreements, with the ultimate goal of establishing stable, smooth, and efficient economic and trade cooperation between China and the United States. Li stated that China is prepared to increase policy coordination with the United States regarding issues like climate change. He added, China hopes that the two nations can become allies rather than adversaries. The meeting took place after 2 days of negotiations in Guangzhou, the southern industrial hub. Yellen and Chinese Vice Premier Li Qiang discussed overcapacity issues and agreed to engage in intensive exchanges to resolve economic and financial challenges. Yellen stated in Guangzhou that excessive Chinese exports could undermine American interests and result in global spillovers. In contrast, Beijing stated that it had fully responded to the production capacity issue and that U.S. trade restrictions against China were serious concerns. During a pivotal economic conference in December, Beijing warned about the potential impact on the economic recovery caused by Chinese overcapacity in specific sectors. Last year's blockbuster exports of new energy products brought attention to the matter, which has caused the European Union and the United States to be concerned that China's dominance could decimate and displace their domestic industries. Chinese electric vehicles are the subject of an anti-subsidy investigation by the European Union, which is likely to impose punitive tariffs and severely damage bilateral relations. Analysts and economists have cautioned against the dangers of an alliance formed to exert pressure on Beijing. The Western countries have, for the most part, come to an agreement to impose ever more stringent restrictions on Chinese green energy products and technology, and they have progressively introduced specific measures, said Xinhua, an expert on U.S.-China relations based in Beijing. The substantial addition to the American small yard, high fence technology and trade restrictions signifies a development that is impossible to undo. Concurrently, it is improbable that China will alter its economic and technological advancement priorities, she added. Yellen stressed the value of communication between the two nations when she visited with academics and students at Peking University's National School of Development on Sunday afternoon. As the United States and China have worked to stabilize our economic relationship, it has been crucial that we strengthen our communication, Yellen said, as reported by the U.S. Treasury Department, before a roundtable discussion with professors. She stated that she had regular conversations with high-ranking Chinese government officials and that the economic and financial working groups, which serve as a forum for the two nations to deliberate on economic and financial policy issues, have been in session consistently since their inception last autumn. Reflecting on her academic career, Yellen stated that her prior experience contemplating novel concepts had served her well as a government official and policymaker who emphasized a pragmatic approach to challenging issues.